My child, if there is a morning, then there is a night too. If there is healing, then there is a wound too. Similarly, if there is happiness, then there is sorrow too. And in your life, a dark day is approaching. Yes, I can see what you are about to go through, and I desire you to be ready for it with my words, otherwise you will cry later. Child, no trouble is bigger than my heart, nor greater than my capacity to hold you in the hollow of my hand. Though shadows lengthen and winds howl through the corridors of your mind, remember that I am the still small voice amid the storm, the quiet center around which every tempest revolves. Do not shrink before the looming threat, rather stand tall, for I have crafted you with strength woven into your very bones. Every trial you face is but a thread in the tapestry. I am weaving a tapestry that will one day reveal my glory in every fold and color. Trust that even the fiercest gale cannot tear what I have bound, and that every trembling leaf at the mercy of the breeze is held by my unyielding embrace. When the dark day dawns, it will come not to break you, but to refine you as gold passes through the fire. The night approaches, yes, but even the longest night must yield to the dawn. I speak now so that when your spirit wavers, you will recall my words, and knowledge will light your path as stars pierce the deepest blackness. Do not fear what is unknown, rather, let your faith be the lantern that guides you. For in the crucible of hardship, the raw ore of your soul is purified, its impurities laid bare so that my light may shine more brilliantly through you. Listen, beloved, for healing springs forth from the wound. Your scars are not marks of shame, but medals of honor, testaments to battles fought and victories won. Do not despise the aches in your heart or the tremors in your hands. They testify that you are alive, that you stretch toward me even when the ground beneath you quakes. When sorrow visits, welcome it as a teacher, for it carves within you a deeper understanding of joy. Should pain seem to bind you, call out, and I will breathe peace into your lungs. I am the balm in Gilead, the salve that transforms suffering into sanctity. In the hour of upheaval, fortify your spirit with my word. Let my commandments be the pillars upon which you lean. Meditate upon them day and night. In the quiet of the morning, let my precepts be your first song. In the gathering dusk, let them be the gentle echo that soothes your weary mind. As the earth revolves in steadfast orbit, so must your heart revolve around my truth. When doubts assail you like locusts, drive them off with the mace of remembrance, recalling every promise I have whispered across the centuries. Turn your gaze from the tumult of men and fix it upon me, your eternal King. Seek not the fleeting applause of the crowd, nor the hollow accolades of empty trophies, but yearn for union with me, for in my presence lies unending joy. When voices rise around you demanding allegiance to agendas not born of love, stand apart. Be ambassadors of peace in a world ravaged by discord, for your calm reflection of my spirit will confound the adversary's schemes. I have set you as a city on a hill. Let your light not be hidden under any bushel, but shine forth so all may see and give glory to your Father in heaven. Engage in prayer as a warrior dons armor. Gird your loins with sincerity, wield supplication as a sword, and lift your shield of trust to repel the fiery darts of despair. Do not offer prayer as a perfunctory ritual, but as an intimate communion, pouring out your heart in honest confession and praise. When words falter, let groans too deep for utterance rise from your soul. Those are the prayers that move mountains. Know that I hear every murmur, that no tear shed in secret goes unnoticed, and that my ear is ever inclined toward those who call upon me in truth. yet do not journey alone. I have fashioned you for fellowship, to bear one another's burdens, so that the weight is borne not by one fragile frame, but by the collective strength of my body. Reach out to your brothers and sisters in love. Share your sorrows and your joys, for through mutual compassion you mirror my concern for humanity. When you serve the least among you, you serve me, and in every act of kindness you enact the great commandment I have engraved on your heart. To love without measure, yearn for unity, and let your gatherings be oases of grace in a parched world. Humility shall be your crown, for the proud heart is like a vessel that springs a leak it loses its treasure. Clothe yourself in meekness, walking softly upon the earth, quick to listen and slow to speak. In your restraint, my strength is perfected. When accolades beckon, step aside and attribute every triumph to my hand. You were never meant to shine by your own might. I am the sun that ignites your brilliance. Let your service be stealthy like the mist that kisses the flowers at dawn, nurturing without fanfare. Then shall my glory be revealed through you, and you will find rest beneath the shadow of my wings. Remember always, my child, that every hardship is but a chapter in the grand narrative of redemption. I do not discard you at the climax of your suffering. I lead you through it. The wilderness may stretch before you, but I walk there too, preparing streams in the desert and manna on the rocks. When trust falters and the path seems lost, recall how I parted seas, how I fed multitudes, how I raised the dead. These mighty acts stand as pledges of my covenant, visible testaments that I work wonders on behalf of my children. Keep your eyes fixed on my track record of love, and let certainty banish every doubt. Within the furnace of affliction, hidden blessings await your discovery. When your faith is tested, know that with testing comes endurance, and with endurance, character is forged. That character births hope, a hope that does not disappoint, for it is anchored in my steadfast promise. So when tears fall like rain, gather them as seeds sown in fertile ground. In due season, those tears will bloom into the flowers of gratitude and praise. You will look back and see how every painful step carved a deeper trench in which my blessing could flow. My presence will not abandon you. I have inscribed your name on the palm of my hand, and I will never forget you. Though mountains crumble and the sea roars, my voice remains an unfailing whisper in your heart. When loneliness drapes itself around you like a shroud, believe that I stand by your side. When fear stalks the corridors of your mind, let my peace be the sentry that bars its entry. You carry within you the embers of my spirit, and where those embers glow, darkness cannot prevail. Cling to perseverance as the rock climber clings to the sheer face, for the summit draws near even when the slope seems endless. One foot before the other, steady in faith, trusting that I will uphold you. Do not quantify your progress by the world's standards, for growth often happens unseen, roots strengthening beneath the soil, branches intertwining in silent solidarity. Soon enough you will burst forth in bloom, your testimony a fragrant offering rising heavenward. Hope is the compass I have given you. It points unfailingly to the shores of my promise. Set your sails to its direction, even if the winds howl contrary. In the tempest, hope is your anchor, keeping your soul from drifting into despair. Let gratitude be the wind that fills your sails, for in remembering my past mercies you stir up the faith to trust me for the days ahead. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Let that love be the beacon that guides the way. My child, consider the life of Joseph. the dreamer whom I chose before his birth. In his youth he walked in sunlight, wrapped in a coat of many colors, a tapestry of promise and purpose I had woven for him. His heart brimmed with aspiration as he beheld the fields where his brothers tended flocks. His dreams shone like stars beckoning him onward. And yet, though his soul danced in the morning light, envy stirred in the hearts of those who could not see beyond their own hurt. They seized him, stripped him of his garment, and hurled him into darkness. Thus began the season of sorrow that would stretch before him like an unending night. But I was with him even then, though he tasted the bitterness of betrayal. In every trial I whispered courage into his spirit, breathing hope into his lungs when his vision dimmed. Even in the cistern shadows he was never forsaken, for I had appointed his path and would lead him through every valley of weeping to a summit of triumph. When Joseph stood shackled in the house of Potiphar, he was a stranger far from home, his dignity traded for silver coins. Yet he served with integrity, honor brimming in each humble task. Favor gathered around him like golden dust, and storms of suspicion had not yet arisen. But swift was the turn of fortune. False accusation became the lance that pierced his reputation, and he found himself cast into the cold confines of prison. There, beneath the weight of injustice, his spirit could have broken. But even in that grim cell I honored his faith. I turned the walls into a sanctuary of whispered prayer and silent communion. Each night I attended his solitude, reminding him through the beating of his heart that no chain could bind the soul I had fashioned. In the gloom of that dungeon his inner lamp burned, for he clung to the promise I had sown in his dreams, refusing to let despair extinguish its flame. While Joseph languished in chains, the royal cupbearer and baker dreamed dreams they could not interpret. I stirred their memories and brought them to Joseph's ear, that he might speak my insight and set them free or bind them by truth. He stood before them not as a prisoner but as my ambassador, declaring mysteries beyond his own knowledge. Yet when freedom arrived, promises slipped like water through cracked hands. The cupbearer left Joseph in that subterranean realm, forgetting the one who had carried his burden before the throne. How often has my servant spoken truth only to watch it vanish in neglect? Yet I held Joseph fast. I allowed that detour so that later, when the ironies of fate brought Pharaoh's dreams to disturb the night, Joseph would stand ready, seasoned by waiting, tempered by affliction, and mature in the wisdom that springs only from sorrow endured. Then came the hour I had prepared from the foundations of the world. Pharaoh's visions of 7 gaunt cows and 7 plump ones, of 7 withered ears and 7 golden sheaves, trembled on the edge of ruin for a hungry land. None could decipher the riddle, none, that is, except my Joseph. Brought forth from the depths, he entered the royal presence clothed in humility, yet bearing the mantle of my revelation. With steady voice he spoke of seasons of plenty and drought, of storehouses to fill and reserves to hold. In those moments the brilliance of morning broke upon Egypt. The shadow of famine receded before the light of my wisdom. I lifted Joseph from the pit to the pinnacle, seating him as ruler over the land I entrusted to him. Brothers who had scorned him now bowed. Lands once fertile lay fallow no longer, and my purpose unfolded like a banner across the heavens, that even the darkest plot of men could be woven into the design of redemption. Reunited at last, Joseph revealed himself to the brothers who had meant him harm. Sorrow shook their hearts. They trembled at the sight of the dreamer they had scorned. Yet Joseph spoke words I had taught him. What you meant for evil, I know you now see I meant for good. In those words lay the essence of my heart, that every blow aimed to shatter might instead serve to shape, that every wound might become the very channel through which healing flows. I am the potter who remakes the shard, the shepherd who seeks the lost sheep, the redeemer who transforms tragedy into triumph. In the echo of Joseph's forgiveness you hear my voice declaring that no sin is so grave, no sorrow so deep, that my grace cannot transmute it into new life. Recall how joy and sorrow entwined in his journey, the morning of his dreams, the night of his betrayal, the healing of Pharaoh's court, the wound of Potiphar's prison. Each season tested the sinews of his faith, yet in every trial he discovered my presence. Do you not see the mirror held before your own life? When you stand in the flush of blessing, remember that I have prepared you for days of drought. When you stagger beneath the yoke of adversity, remember that I am with you even in the prison cell, preparing you for wider fields of fruitfulness. Your tears water the seed of resilience, your wounds become portals of my mercy. So let my word be your lamp. Shining in the caverns of despair, let your faith be the staff that steadies your trembling steps. As I spoke once through the prophet Isaiah, so I speak now into your midst. I am the Lord who comforts you, who leads you beside still waters. My faithfulness knows no dusk, my steadfast love no dawn. I do not promise an absence of storms, but I do promise that the ark I build around you will keep you afloat. When your faith is tested as gold in the furnace, do not curse the fire. Rather, embrace its heat as the forge of your maturity. The silver of your sincerity will emerge brighter, unmarred by the impurities of fear. Let endurance have its perfect work within you, that you may be complete, lacking nothing. For in your perfecting lies the reflection of my glory, a testament to souls rescued, refined, and restored. Turn now to the Psalms, where David danced before my presence, praising me in the courts of triumph. Yet that same David knew the midnight of despair, the haunting solitude of his own sin and its consequences. He penned laments that shook the rafters of heaven, crying out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" In that cry I heard his honest anguish and responded with mercy, drawing him from the brink with the cords of steadfast love. His lament became a testimony that the soul that cries out in its brokenness will taste the sweetness of my deliverance. The sighs released in sorrow become the anthems of joy when I turn captivity into liberty. See the Apostle Paul, who beheld a thorn in the flesh that tormented his body. He pleaded thrice for its removal. And I answered, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." He gloried in infirmity, for in every quake of his frame he felt the steadying pulse of my strength. His letters, born in chains, echo through the ages as thunderous proclamations that no bondage can shackle the soul anchored in me. With every letter written by candlelight in the murk of prison cells, he ferried hope across time to sustain your spirit when you too feel confined by circumstances. In these narratives you discern the thread that runs from Joseph through David, through apostles and prophets, weaving a tapestry of redemption that spans the centuries to touch your life today. In every season of joy, remember that I prepare your heart for humbler walks of faith. In every season of sorrow, remember that I prepare your soul for higher vistas of grace. The path you tread is no blind alley, but a corridor I have fashioned with purpose and care. Even when the road winds through the valley of the shadow of death, I walk there, gathering your tears into vessels of blessing. Every lament you utter becomes a seed of praise. Every ache you endure becomes a lever lifting you into greater heights of trust. Therefore, when sorrow visits, whether in the shape of a severed relationship, a shattered dream, a betrayal that wounds your spirit, do not abandon hope. Instead, anchor your heart in the knowledge that I will make your sorrow serve my ends. Let your faith be the lens through which you view your affliction, that you might see its hidden purpose. For what you deem wasted years are the incubation chamber of refinement. What you call shattered hopes are the fragments I will gather to construct a new mosaic of glory. Trust that I am ever at work, fashioning beauty from your broken pieces. My child, I have spoken at length so that when your faith falters you will remember these tales of old and know that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. The God who delivered Joseph from the pit delivers you. The God who exalted David from the cave exalts you. The God who sustained Paul in chains sustains you. Your story is not an isolated verse, but the next stanza in an anthem of relentless grace. Let your heart resonate with these testimonies, for they are the instruments by which I compose your destiny. So lift your gaze from the immediate trial and set it upon my unchanging character. I am the Lord of hosts, the one who parts seas, quenches fires, and dwells in the whirlwind. I am your refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Though the earth beneath you tremble, though nations rage, though even your bones feel frail, I am the rock on which you stand. Place your trust in me, and you will not be confounded. Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, even the wisdom to navigate seasons of famine and feast. Rest now in the assurance that your story is in my hands. The sorrow-laden chapters are being transcribed with my purpose, the joy-filled passages with my delight. You will look back and see how my faithfulness carried you through every tempest. You will stand in the fullness of joy, declaring with the psalmist, "It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes." Your testimony will shine as a beacon to those yet walking in darkness, drawing them to the morning of my salvation. Thus, in the twining of joy and sorrow, the wound and the healing, you will discover the melody of my redemptive art, a song that echoes from creation's dawn to the eternal shores. With love, your heavenly Father.